You wake up and the fire has gone cold. Your stomach is a hollow ache. Yesterday you ate the last of the dried meat, a thin, tough strip that tasted like smoke and nothing else. Today, the snow is deeper than it was yesterday. The river is frozen solid. The herds that graze these hills in autumn are gone. Move south somewhere you can't follow. For most animals, winter is a problem their bodies solve. Bears sleep through it, birds leave. You can't do any of that. So the question becomes, when the world freezes and every calorie disappears, what did ancient humans actually eat? The answer isn't what you think. Because when food ran out, they didn't just eat less. They changed what food meant. Here's the trap winter sets. The human brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns roughly 20% of your resting energy. Every single hour, it demands fuel, and in winter, it demands more. Cold makes your body burn calories just to stay warm. Hunger in the cold isn't just uncomfortable, it's a countdown. A ground squirrel can drop its body temperature and survive months without a bite. A reindeer grows hooves that cut through ice to reach buried lichen. A wolf just gets slower and hungrier when prey thins out. Humans got none of those tricks. So we solved the problem the only way our species knows how, before winter ever arrived. Around 23,000 years ago, during the last ice age, groups across what is now the Czech Republic and Russia stopped treating food like a meal and started treating it like a future. They camped along migration routes. They watched where the herds would pass, weeks before the animals got there. Knowledge became food before a single animal was killed. Here's where most people get ancient winter wrong. They imagine a starving hunter gnawing a tiny piece of lean meat. But the smartest groups didn't chase lean protein. They chased fat. Pound for pound, fat carries more than twice the calories of protein. Fat is what keeps a body alive through months of cold. So when a mammoth or a bison fell, almost nothing was wasted. The meat was sliced into thin strips and hung in the freezing air to dry. The fat was collected and stored, because in a deep winter, fat wasn't a luxury. It was survival. Bones were cracked open for marrow, a dense pocket of calories hidden inside the skeleton. Even the tendons became cordage, the hide became clothing. But here's the part that surprises people. When even the stored meat ran low, which it always did, ancient humans turned to the most reliable food source in a frozen world, one that was everywhere, under their feet. But here's where it gets stranger. Winter didn't just take food away. It became a refrigerator. In temperatures well below freezing, meat stays edible for weeks or even months, if you can protect it from scavengers. Some groups dug storage pits into the frozen ground, lined them with hides and stones, and used the cold itself to keep their next meal from rotting. At Ice Age sites like Mazirich in Ukraine, people built entire settlements around food that had to last through months when nothing grew. And when the caches ran out, when the dried meat was gone and the pits were empty, ancient humans didn't starve. They got creative. They ate things we'd never think to put on a plate. Inner bark stripped from trees, chewed for its starches. Lichen scraped off rocks. Insects and grubs dug from frozen soil. The marrow from bones other predators had already stripped. Food wasn't about taste in a deep winter. Food was anything that kept the brain fed for one more day. But no single person survived a winter alone. That's the part the cold teaches you fastest. One hunter can't watch the fire, dig for lichen, guard the cache, and hunt at the same time. So winter became the season that made cooperation necessary, and the group that refused to leave its weakest members behind was the one that made it to spring. The food wasn't hoarded by the strongest. It was shared, because everyone knew the same secret. Next winter, it might be you who couldn't hunt. Every scrap of food passed around the fire was an insurance policy against the year you came up empty. So what did ancient humans eat when the food was gone? Everything. Fat and marrow when they could get it. Bark and lichen and insects when they couldn't. Food stored in the frozen earth and food shared around a fire. They didn't out-eat the winter. They out-thought it. Today, when you open a freezer, fill a pantry, or stock up before a snowstorm, you're doing exactly what your ancestors did, storing calories before the world turns against you. The only difference is, thousands of years of knowledge now do the preparing for you. So here's a question for the comments. What's the one thing you'd absolutely need to survive a winter with no grocery store? I read every answer. And if you want to know how ancient humans survived everything else, the disease, the predators, the cold, subscribe, because that story isn't over yet.